this next lesson, I'm going to show you a couple examples of graphs of positive correlation. So this first one, we have our data points on our graph. Where they came from is the first column is your X column. Those are the amount of hours studied for the Regents exam. The Y column represents the score that the student got. So you'll see your horizontal axes must be labeled with the hours studied, and then the numbers are 1 through 7. The vertical axis also is labeled, and so we're going to look for that, just for you to label on your assignments the Regent score, and then they went from 0 to 100. So if you imagine this data point right here is a person who studied for 1 hour and scored a 40. The next one is studied for 1 hour and got a score of 50. So as we graph these points, you'll notice there's a trend. These numbers are increasing over time. We can create what we approximate what the line of best fit would be. So if we want to make predictions on someone who maybe studied 4.5 hours, we could predict that they'll probably get about a 75. Now these are very small amounts of data points to make judgment calls on, but just a quick example of a scatter plot with positive correlation. The next one we're going to go ahead and graph. So we're going to pretend that we have some children, ages 1 to 8, and we took their heights. And we want to see that as they get older, the child gets taller. So we're going to go ahead and label our axes. So the bottom is the age in years. The vertical axis is the height in inches. You always need to have your units. And now if you remember, we have ages 1 to 8. This is what I'm going to label down here. All right. And then our heights, inches, range from 25 to 55. So I'll start here maybe at 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's go in half, 25, 35, 45, 55. Now let's create our points. So when the child was 1 year old, their height was 25 inches. At 2 years old, they were 31 inches. At 3 years old, 34 inches. 4 years old, 36 inches. 5 years old, 40 inches. 6 years old, 41 inches. 7 years old, 47 inches. And at 8 years old, they were up at 55 inches. Notice the trend. So I would approximate the line of best fit somewhere about in there. This is a positive correlation between the age of the person and their height. Now, if we think about going, 20 years more, we know this isn't going to continue at this rate because when we get to be about 18, 20 years old, we've maxed out on our height.